I am not going to accept a simple gift of being given an office because I've had an office in the past. That is the office of the Prime Minister. But instead, in 2023, we are going to revive the Building Bridges initiative in a way that is going to be appealing and work in the interest of the people. That is the sound, or that is word from Raila Odinga. Welcome to the Bold Analysis, and my name is Kevin Oduor. I can tell you that we have interesting scenes coming in 2023 as far as Kenyan politics is concerned. And I need to make a disclaimer, I'm still shooting at home, so my video can have some quality mishaps. And of course, a lot of natural sounds in the background. Ng'ombe, dogi, nini. Yeah, people are still, people are harvesting, so even the livestock here are very, very jovial. It's a very good season. So I want us to look at this point because Raila is saying that, look here, I'm not going to accept the office, or rather what was given by what a memorandum of understanding that President Ruto sent to the two speakers of Senate, to the speakers of Senate and that of the National Assembly. And I just want us to go straight to the point and say, in case that, in the event that Raila starts this initiative, or rather in case of a parallel constitutional review process is initiated, what does it portend for Kenya Kwanza and also on the side of Raila Odinga? I've said parallel because from what I understand, that it might take the shape of Okoa Kenya. It might go through the popular initiative that leads to referendum that Raila Odinga's team have insisted. And there is also another process, the parliamentary process that is going on, initiated by William Ruto. And it's now being, it's supposed to be taken to the National Assembly in February when Parliament resumes from their 2 months recess. So guys, what do you think is likely to happen? I'm just looking at this, and it's an interesting take because we've seen a change of heart, and I think I analyzed here that William Ruto made a U-turn. He made a U-turn from an initial statement that he was not coming to power and starting with the business of changing the constitution, but to look at what is the interest of the people. And in my previous analysis, I think I've done a bit in this, and I said that when William Ruto starts constitutional review processes, they're just projects, or rather they're just agendas that are being brought on table to create quick wins, because it's very easy to initiate one in Parliament, then through Parliament you take credit, and he's been trying to avoid mobilization of votes that will really polarize the country, or rather will throw this country into politicking mood. And now he's decided to do it. And from what you can see, his proposal is creating the office of the leader of opposition, is addressing the two-third gender rule, and is also addressing the issue of the CDF that is unconstitutional, that was termed unconstitutional by the Supreme Court. And so he's also just taken a narrow aspect of doing what according to him are emergency. And if you ask me, the creation of the leader of opposition office, even though my position has been that is equally important, but it's not urgent. So I agree with people who say it's not urgent. And so there is no problem with it if it's taking due process, but make sure that it's acceptable. Because if you just give it quickly, and because it has been availed and so we must do it, what are you going to see? We are going to find ourselves in a situation where seats are given, or rather amendments are just initiated on political expediency, where we are doing it because we want quick gains. I want to humbly ask you to subscribe to our channel, click the notification bell, and also like our video. Thank you very much for those who support us from every part of the globe. I appreciate your support. The fact that you take a second to subscribe, to watch our video, and to share, I don't take it for granted. So this is why I'm saying that this is going to be a very interesting thing. what do you think? Do you think Kenya Kwanza are going to support it? My answer is yes, and my answer is no. While there will be a faction that will support it, there may be a faction that may not support it. But I want you to go, and I want to selfishly take this agenda in the mind, or rather in the doorstep of Rigiji, the deputy president. I'm told anapenda sana hiyo jina Rigiji, by the way. So, if you ask me, Rigiji will oppose that move to amend the constitution on that BBI, or rather revival of BBI. Number one, not because of anything, but because it's being associated with Raila. And the only business of Rigathi Gachagua and his squad are to spread a venom against either President Uhuru Kenyatta or Raila Odinga to create the safeguards, because they believe that the only impediment to what they want is Raila Odinga. So there is a likelihood that they will initiate maybe an opposition towards the same. But I've always said one thing, that for once, Mount Kenya should have the consciousness that they have, that they didn't show in the last dispensation when the issue of the BBI came through. What I'm saying is this. The BBI was opposed by William Ruto and his squad, and the only rationale was that it was not a priority because there were many problems that Kenyans are going through. And you know, mtu akiwa, when someone is having a wound, na namwambia kwamba mimi, instead of telling you the way, changing a principal of a high school, of your daughter's high school, and you getting treatment for your wound, which one will you choose? Mtu atachoose aende daktari atibiwe, so that the other things come second. So what was actually done was not that BBI was wrong, but Kenya Kwanza, by that time to be specific, UDA, told Kenyans successfully, they ran with this narrative that it was not a priority. And so Kenyans accepted that it was not a priority. Now, in this time round, I don't know whether it will also become a priority. I don't know how fast, 3 months in office, William Ruto realized that that thing became a priority. So why I'm saying this is, in the last BBI, Mount Kenya was getting, out of the 70 additional constituencies, Mount Kenya was getting 26. And that means that it was partly solving the one man, one shilling vote, because with many constituencies and the 2 billion CDF fund going through the MPs, it means that capitation per constituency was going to be more, because those constituencies are actually densely populated. So for once, I see Rigathi Gachagua opposing it, and his squad opposing it because it's Raila involved. That is number one. Number two, you know, a revival of BBI a success of a revived BBI would give some voice and political clout to former President Uhuru Kenyatta. So, because when Raila is talking about BBI, strictly, there is a change, a feeling that, okay, he might be talking about, or rather, it could be that former President Uhuru Kenyatta is involved in it. So that will give Uhuru Kenyatta in an election, maybe a clout in the next general election. And those are the two grounds that will see Rigathi Gachagua opposing it, because his business and the squad is oppose Raila, either oppose Raila or oppose Uhuru Kenyatta. So I'm looking at it in that angle. But secondly, it will be an interesting scene for me, and as I started this analysis, that 2023 we are really bracing ourselves for very interesting scenes, because Ruto will not want a mobilization, because public mobilization of the vote would put him in a situation of we lose or winner. You know, one of the reasons why Ruto opposed BBI is because it was heading to referendum, and Raila Odinga and Uhuru Kenyatta being on the one side, and with Raila supporting it and just getting a glimpse of support from the state, he knew very well that these guys were going to engineer it, and with the altered structure of the national government, maybe he will be locked out of the national matrix. And I've always said that the moment there was a problem with BBI, the moment BBI was stopped, That's the time Musalia Mudavadi and Wetangula changed their thoughts, and that like, okay, this is the time we are not going to do what we are not going to support Raila Odinga. That's the time they changed their thought because they realized, okay, so even if Raila becomes president, we may not be given vice president. It might get to Kalonzo Musyoka, and that's when that was the point of departure between Raila and Musalia Mudavadi and Kalonzo and Moses Wetangula. Something that I still insist was a big blunder on Raila Odinga's secretariat not to make sure that they win the trust of the two gentlemen. So, what exactly is this? Is that I see it as something that will give international community a stake to assert their point on, apart from supporting the other things, development projects, are they also supporting democratization of this global world? I want to say a very wild thing, and I'll say it before I finish this analysis. And when I just put out a call in one of my, just trying to consult a friend, someone said to me, and I don't know whether you think about it, we'll try to look at it before I finish. I see BBI revival, it's a delicate push for Raila Odinga. Because if Kenyans accepts that if it's not halted, if William Ruto does not go through the court, or even not directly even Kenya Kwanza, but a lobby group doesn't go through the court and it's stopped, and it goes to the way, and maybe Ruto team crafts a no space, then it will actually bring Raila's politics to a premature blow. It will give it a premature blow. Why I'm saying that is this. You know, a success of BBI is a big success for Raila Odinga. And this is why I'm saying this. It will consolidate a movement, or a group, or a winning euphoria that can head directly to the 2027 general election. I know for sure, if Rigathi Gachagua chooses to disobey William Ruto and say no, and no, let me say, Rigathi can say no. That okay, they're not going to support this issue of the constitution. And on this, I differ with my boss. I'm not going to resign, but I differ with my boss. And William Ruto, Raila Odinga tries to formulate it and traps William Ruto by removing those expansion of the executive, which was a point, because one thing was that, okay, Raila wants power, and that's why there is an issue about expansion of executive or other extension of power, of Uhuru Kenyatta's power. He removes it because anyway, he might not even benefit from it. Then, on that ground, William Ruto comes in and supports it. And even better still, William Ruto wants to consolidate more power and could have realized that there is a thin line between Musalia Mudavadi and Rigathi Gachagua. And for Musalia Mudavadi to support William Ruto further in the next run, he may want a fatter pig. He may want to be fattened. Someone says that here, Raila Odinga could be fattening William Ruto for slaughter. That's what I say. William Ruto, this could be fattening William Ruto for slaughter. And accept that it goes, and if it supports, he formulates consolidate a team for the 2027. I see a situation where Raila tries to consolidate a team, and it will take that shape. That was the first attempt on the BBI, but it collapsed. But this time round, that's what it is. So ladies and gentlemen, that's my observation. I cannot do detailed analysis because I'm at home, so we just make quick reviews. And when we return to Nairobi, probably tomorrow, the day after tomorrow, we're going to have comprehensive takes on some of these political events.